Hi everybody. Welcome to week 1 or module 1, Barriers to Writing for the MOOC, Helping History Teachers Become Writing Teachers. I'm your instructional co-host, Dr. Scott Petrie. Just in order to do a little bit of variety, I decided to film this in the privacy of my backyard. You'll hear a little road noise. I apologize for that. But as I film this on January 6th, it is 80 degrees in Los Angeles. And I know a few of the participants in this MOOC that are in Washington, D.C., and in Illinois, and in Ohio are battling snow right now. So I just kind of do it as a gentle nudge. Hey, it's not like there's a Berlin Wall. Everybody can come live in Southern California where the weather is fabulous. So this week we're going to talk about the three, well, I've already kind of changed the format, which I told you I would try and remain consistent with, but there's no quiz this week. I don't want to scare anybody off in the first week. You know, we're lucky if between 5 and 10% of the people enrolled in MOOCs actually finish the MOOC, and since this one is just for teachers, I'd like to see if I can keep as many of the 350 teachers I have signed up and get them to be active and frequent participants. So we're going to have 4 discussion board prompts that range from an introductory prompt that tells us a little bit about who you are and where you live and what you're hoping to get out of the course, all the way to more specific discussions about the 3 lectures you're going to have this week. So there will also be 1 featured reading. It's fairly short, and no quiz on that. There's also 4 videos, mostly starring me this week. I apologize for the overload. So let's start right away and talk about what we consider the 3 biggest barriers. This is what I consider the 3 biggest barriers to assigning writing in history classes. So the first problem is providing feedback, and as you can see from this teacher, providing feedback has overwhelmed this poor woman. She's got papers stacked up everywhere. There's no way she can possibly correct all of them, and that's the most frequent criticism you hear from students, is that they write the paper and then they don't get it back for 3 or 4 weeks, and they've totally forgotten about the process that was involved in doing the writing. They're very seldom asked to revise the paper, so providing feedback is a big barrier. Timely and quality feedback you can add as caveats. So the second barrier that I hear from teachers is that, especially where I work in LA Unified, I have a lot of English language learners and students with disabilities. In this course, we're going to call those students with writing deficits, and we're going to talk about SRSD instruction, which actually is a great help to students with writing deficit. And I'm a little embarrassed and a little ashamed to admit that even after 12 years of being a teacher, I only learned about SRSD writing instruction while doing the research for this course. So I hope you'll consider those 2 lectures, SRSD, about demystifying the writing process, making the writing process more simple for your students. Lastly, what I hear all the time is, I don't want to assign writing is because every kid cuts and pastes and they think it's writing. It's too hard to counter all the plagiarism that's out there. At the end of this module, we are going to look at 10 free plagiarism detection tools, and you'll have a lecture on Turnitin.com's study about where students get these, where they get their cut and paste material, and although they call it in the Turnitin white paper, they call it unoriginal content, matched content. What they really mean is copied content. So those are the 3 barriers we're going to talk about this week. How can we get better at providing feedback? How can we serve our students with writing deficits? And how can we create assignments that counter plagiarism? So 2 pet peeves I want to talk about in this class is, 1, don't be afraid of the educational research. Don't be afraid of the statistics. When I talk to teachers and I pass forward articles and studies that I think could be replicated in classrooms, what teachers say is, oh no, I'm too busy to do that. I don't want to do that. It's too much work. Well, you're going to see in this course the processes I use to show my students data. It's not that hard. It's very easy. And most of the stats when you're talking about writing are going to be means, and averages, average word count, average number of claims, average pieces of evidence. So don't be afraid when you read some of these articles about the standard deviation and the size of their n and all that stuff. Just you can kind of skip over that stuff anyways. I try and explain it in my video, lecture video, and then I also think we can talk about it in the discussion boards and how we can apply these lessons, how we can apply these studies, what's been learned in these studies to our classroom practices. So the next thing I want to say, and you'll see a picture of my darling children and my cute puppy dog, is please, 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 please help me by completing the TEO, which is the Teacher Entrepreneurial Orientation Survey at the end of this module. I know you've just finished the 2 Canvas surveys. It's bad timing on my part, but I'm giving a presentation at SITE on March 6th in Las Vegas. SITE is the Society for Information Technology and Teacher Education. It meets every year. This is their annual conference. I will be talking about using MOOCs as professional development. And I will be using a lot of the data from this MOOC and the data from my previous MOOC, which was improving teacher-student relationships. Another shameless plug, if you want to come see me later on that very same week in Oakland, I'll be at the California Council of Social Studies, and that is, I believe, March 8th and 9th. So, lastly, we have a nice size group here, 350 teachers. I hope you will participate generously and graciously on the discussion boards. You don't have to point out when someone's being a blowhard or when someone's really dominating the conversation. They figure that out by themselves. If someone is insulting you, if someone's upsetting you, just stop talking to them and stop replying to them. I think it goes without saying that we don't want to flame people. We don't want to have these negative conversations. Some people are at different levels in this course. We have kindergarten, middle, high school teachers. We have some college professors. All of us have the same goal. We want to be getting better at writing instructors. Let's listen to what everybody else has to say. So, thank you very much for listening. Enjoy Module 1, and I will see you on the discussion boards.